Guru Kripa Kevalam. Namaste and welcome everyone to Satsang today. Sadguru Shri Muji Baba ki Jai. Good. It's these specs, Yeah, without it. But I have to use them to read the chat. I see many new faces now for the past few months. And to all of those who haven't heard this particular pointer from me before we jump into the question and answers and things, I feel like it is a important one, and I felt that it's quite direct and quite helpful, and so I wanted to share that with all of you before we start. So I said, if to know even one thing was to know too much, if to know even one thing was to know too much, what is it that you know when you know nothing? I know it sounds very confusing in a way, it could be, you see, but fundamentally, what I'm pointing you to is that uh, absent of the need to know effortfully, you see, or to know in time, you see, that which you know effortfully and you know in time, it was not something that you always knew. Then, for the purposes of satsang, that knowledge can be kept aside. You see? You see? And if you know even one thing that is like that, it is to know too much. Now, when you don't have any knowledge in this time bound, effortful way, what is it that remains? You see? So, look at everything that you think you know, and if it came to you in time, just keep it aside for a moment. And what is it that you're not willing to keep aside? You see? That you can surrender or you can inquire into the truth of that. Lost in words or with me? You see? So everything that you got to know that you did not know originally, you see, that came to you over a period of time, just leave that aside. It is too much to know. You see? So to get to true self-knowledge, we need to return to simplicity. You see, you cannot return to innocence and simplicity if you know too much. And how much is too much? Even one thing is too much. You see, even the one thing that came to you in time is too much. So let it go. Now, what do you know independent of that time bound knowledge, independent of that which you picked up as a concept? What remains? Then all your conceptual knowledge is gone. Can you keep the investment in this moment in the false? No, you can't keep it. Can you understand it in your head? So all that came to you in time were just versions of what is, but none of them truly represent what is. Can you take an example? What do you know? Like, take an example. What do you know?
What you learn.
What, like for example?
Your name or gender,
Yes,
all that
yes,
knowledge, your
yes,
mother, your
yeah.
father.
So for these, it's very clear that it came in time. It was not original to me, so it can be kept aside. Then anything that you feel like is clear, you see, that I know this, it has to be like this. Yeah.
Sensation in the body.
Like a sensation in the body. Like, do you know this? Huh? I'm not bullying you out of it. No? I'm just asking sincerely. It may sound strong, but I'm just asking sincerely. Can we really say a sensation is in the body? We have some perception that we call the body, and those sensations that we also call the body. But do we really know that it is in this flesh bucket? Can we really say where it is coming from? There's so many examples we've taken in the past, like the, what is it called? The amputee, phantom limb, the rubber glove, the rubber glove experiment, where the subject of the experiment, they were asked to keep their hands at a distance like this, and then there was a false hand that was put there, and that other hand was blocked, your real hand, it was just put there. Then for a while what you do is you stimulate both hands with some feather or brush or something together, and then what happens is that this false rubber hand is poked with a pin, and you can feel the sensation of the pin, although that which you call your hand was never poked. You see? So our consciousness has the ability to experience whatever sensation, but the causative idea that comes from the body is cannot be verified. You see, and we don't have to dispute it, but at least it makes it doubtable, and to make it doubtable is enough. You see, it is our convictions, it is our beliefs which keep us caught up in the limited idea about ourselves. So, empty of that which needs belief, empty of that which needs conviction, what is it that is apparent to you? Ah, Amma. Good, good, good. Oh, in a lovely sari as always. So good, so good. What does she need? I love this stuff. Good to see you. It's been what, a year, no? Ah, and you'll notice that I'm not saying anything new since the last time you came. So one asked the question: is knowing that I am aware a case of knowing too much? Yes. You see. So when we say knowing that I am aware, so I am putting I am aware in quotes. You see. So in quotes means that we make a notion out of it. You see. But without that, you see, what is there? Is it expressible? We may point to it as awareness. We may point to it as I am aware. But does it really contain the truth in the way we think it may? You can look at this. You see, you can look at this. Like, what is the difference between self-knowledge, you see, and the notion that I am aware? In self-knowledge also, it is clear that I am aware, I am this awareness itself. But those words don't really, they don't really serve the purpose. At best, as pointers, or if we need to communicate what the discovery is. Not say. So, so yes. So there's an idea. Let's take a simpler idea. Maybe we say um, that I exist. You see? But you exist independent of the idea I exist. There is a I existness to you, which is independent of the notion I exist. Like suppose you did not understand any language or speak any language, you would not be able to say I exist. And yet it would be clear that you exist. Yes. Yes. Yeah. Yes. Yes. So that innocent intelligence, you see, which a child, no, I say this sometimes. A child is not born and says, "Oh, it's time for me to cry. So let me start crying." No, it's just born and yeah. You see, and then say, "Okay, I'm hungry. I want milk." You see, it just happens. So all these activities. So all these natural activities, what intelligence drives that? The same intelligence which is beating our hearts, which is making our tear glands function, the same intelligence. So, so that intelligence makes the whole world function. Now, in human arrogance, what has happened is that we have taken our notional intelligence or what we think is true in our heads, and we have given that primacy over that natural intelligence. So satsang is nothing but returning to that innocence, that innocent intelligence, which, by the way, is the driving force of this whole universe, the guiding light as well as the screen. And our conceptual knowledgeability just gets in our way, just gets in our way of that recognition. That is why the irony is that the words of satsang like this can sound like, I don't think I can really understand this stuff. You see, what is he talking about? What do you know when you know nothing? What kind of thing is that? You see, it can sound very confusing to the mind, and yet it's so apparent in our hearts. So the attempt is to do a mind bypass, as Guruji says. The attempt is to do a mind bypass. I can turn this off for a bit. So this this recognition is the greatest gift that you can give to yourself. It's the greatest gift that anyone can give to themselves. You see? The gift of that which always is. It sounds strange. Next one says knowing too much means that it is a thought or a belief of an I that knows. Yes. Thoughts can come and go, you see, but to know conceptually means to believe. Next one says everything that appeared after or to I is in time. And it also seems I giving birth to all knowing is the only knowing that is not in time, but that gives birth to time. Yes, but don't know this. So what have you learned? What is independent of all learning? Independent of anything that you can learn. Hmm? Being, being, inner knowing. Yeah. So simple. Do we say simple but not easy? We don't need to. Maybe it's easier. If we are attached to egoic identity, it can seem very difficult. It can seem very difficult. If you're unattached to ego, it's very easy. Attachment to ego means attached to an idea about yourself, an idea about the world, some piece of knowledge which you feel like you have to hold on to, is it? Either to exist or to do well in life or to make this play go round. Right now, in the realm of your existence, what needs effort?
Remember
uh,
to remember anything you need.
to remember anything, to go to the mind. Is it? Now, so let's say what vital functions are not happening by themselves. And what has happened is that by habit we seem to have made thinking a vital function, but it is just trying to decipher the narrative of the story of life, trying to give meaning to that which is too broad for meaning, trying to own life in a way which is the thinking process. What does this mean? What does this mean? Huh? Really? But our constant attempt is to answer this, no? Is it? So, because it is fundamental to what's in it for me, that we come to an understanding of what does this mean? Because without meaning, you cannot make a meaning. And every moment of your waking state is beyond your capacity to make meaning. And yet we have taken so many years of an apparent experience of this waking state and made a meaning out of it, a story out of it. When that story dissolves, what dissolves and what remains? Is it? When the story dissolves, what dissolves and what remains? And every story dissolves, who remains? That may also be a story. Huh? Worth investigating it. What does it mean to exist? Does that be have a not be, to be or not to be? Does that to be, which is existing, have a not to be? And is that contrast also notional? Is the notion of contrast itself notional? How many have I lost? Is the who's with me?
After the story dissolve permanently, or it keeps getting picked up.
That's up to you. You tell me.
I mean, I feel that the tendency is to keep
Yeah, yeah, yeah. Who's stuck with this tendency?
when it's there, unconsciously.
So God is held hostage to tendency. Is there anything else besides God? Anyone else besides God? Yes, it can feel like there is a habit, there's an impulse, there's a tendency to revert back to a conceptual way of living, a storified uh, way of living. You see? But it is just that's why we call it, we rather call it a play of consciousness, you see, rather than to feel like there is actual hostage situation happening. Because nothing can hold God hostage. So the symptoms are good. What are the symptoms of divesting from the story? That you find yourself in satsang. That's one. It doesn't have to be this kind of satsang. Any part of the aspect of the play when you're removing these um, removing the tyranny of the stories is satsang in one way or the other. So what I've described to you now is simply encapsulated in open and empty. Is it? Because the mind will keep saying, so okay, now I get this, so what do I do? Just remain open and empty.
Find that part.
Huh?
Open empty,
Open means everything can come.
as in thoughts.
Everything, every perception, sensation, thought, everything. You see, anything that come fundamentally the perception only. But we don't even have to categorize what type of perception. All perception can come. Everything can come. You see, and empty means nothing can stay. So if something comes, how do you make it stay?
Hold on to it.
Correct. And hold on to what? What can we hold on to? Just an idea. You cannot actually hold on to a perception because you have no tool like that. You may try to do it with attention, you see, but can't do it. Everything that comes goes. You see. So we hold on to our idea of something should stay or this should not come, you see, with our belief, with our identification with the thought. So empty means we remain conceptually empty, not resisting anything, not grasping at anything, not trying to put anything in our pocket, not even trying to discard anything. That discarding happens on its own. That open and empty is the unborn, is your notionless existence. How to suffer here? How to suffer? Maharaj said, you are not experiencing suffering, you are suffering, you are experiencing. It means no suffering is inherent in any experience. How to make this juice, how to make this suffering juice out of experience. You have to make it firstly. You see, it's not part of the raw material. You have to squeeze out. It sounds strange. That's why I'm belaboring the point. You may feel like the experience of anything inherently brings suffering along with it, but that is not the case. Okay, let's try the reverse experiment. If you tried hard enough, is there any experience that you cannot suffer from? It's a good flip, no? Is there any experience you cannot suffer from?
Anything.
You'll find a way to suffer from it. Very quickly, too. Is it? Who's with me in this? Is it? You see that, isn't it? That if you work with your mind, it can make every perceptual moment, every perceptual experience into a suffering experience. That's why Guruji says there's no inherent meaning in anything in the world. It is always the perspective that we bring to it. It's an explosive statement, you see, because our whole endeavor has been to look at the realm of perception and say, what does this mean? What does this mean? What does this mean? And the central character, the protagonist of this meaning making has always been the me. So I put up the Zen story of the elephant again. It's my favorite story, probably. It's just defining the same thing. What is the inherent meaning? Even in words, if I was to say lam lam, tim tim, tam tam, tom tom, tang, I will say, ah, he said, yeah, maybe this is what. Another will say, no, you heard it wrong. He didn't say tam tam, lim lim. He said lam lam, tim tim, whatever. And this is what he had. So this is the thing. Is it? What is the thing in itself? So satsang is where you come to let go of that which you are hugging tightly because you think it is helping you. You're coming to release all of that so that you can become free. It's like the deconstructive antidote to all the construction exercises you've been doing all your life.
So I keep questioning everything. Maybe you question ahead, like how we say, oh, this is what I'm thinking. How are we, why are we saying we're thinking from here?
Yes,
We're questioning everything.
yes. And in that questioning, you realize that actually I know none of this. That's why I say, what do you know? What do we know? What do we know really? What does to know even mean? Is there such a thing as to know? Who knows? Who can know? Can that be known? And yet, all of this is about Atma-Jnana, self-knowledge. What is the Venkatesananda quote? Do you have it easy? I love that. It came across, um, it came here on Facebook or something. And I found it very straightforward.
The
Say,
notion of an external
louder,
knowable,
my dear.
when the notion of an external knowable has been removed, self-knowledge arises.
That's it. When the notion of an external knowable is removed, self-knowledge arises. And what is an external knowable?
Anything
Anything that we've traditionally taken to be knowledge.
within perception.
Perception, uh, the perception, meaning making of perception into conceptual knowledge. You see, so the four bowls actually is contained in that one statement. The exercise of the four bowls is contained in this one statement. When the notion of an external knowable is removed, self-knowledge arises.
The whole concept of person, no person, presence, no presence becomes irrelevant.
Becomes irrelevant, and that it becomes irrelevant also becomes irrelevant. You see, otherwise we can find a new resting place in the negation. You see? But let the negations also be provisional. You see? If the axe is used to chop everything, but then you don't become axe worshippers. You throw the axe also. Otherwise, we can just go from this, oh, this was the meaning, and now we can get to, no, but this is meaningless. You see? But meaninglessness is also a meaning that we make to define the unknowable, conceptually unknowable. You see? And the intellect has these boundaries, like meaning or meaningless, up or down, left or right, higher or lower, highest or lowest. You see? So all of these boundaries are actually where, you see, the notion of trapped and free is where. So you will not go from bondage to freedom because both ideas are just in the intellect. You will transcend both.
Otherwise, it would feel like this idea that the protagonist seems to be like the central idea after which all more ideas can hang on.
It's symbiotic
Yeah.
in the way that these ideas hang on to me and me hangs on to these ideas. Nothing survives without the other. Is it?
Yeah.
You see, the me is made up of ideas, and ideas need the me as the board on which you can hang the, you see, pin-up notes or whatever.
You said really I didn't know
So,
anything.
let's even look at this exercise. So, why does it happen like this? How I say blah blah blah, bleep bleep bleep, blah bleep blue. Ah, that's why. What did we learn? You see, like a conceptual gap. Yeah, why? So there are a few ways in which the intellect knocks, the mind knocks. There's probably why and but are the two most popular. But why? You see? And it comes just after I said, but what do we actually know? Do we know any why? Why anything? Give me a good answer to why anything. Why you exist. That's the substratum. That's the basis for the arising of every other why, because in sleep state there's no why. Why you exist must be the uh, must be the primal why we must ask. Why do you exist? Nobody knows. So we give provisional answers like it is a lila, or it is an evolution, or it is so that unmanifest suddenly somehow had a desire to experience itself as the manifest. Unmanifest had a desire. All of those, if you really look, are just nonsensical reasons. But it's just a way to shut the intellect up to give the answer. So why anything? Blah 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 blah. That may be better than any other answer because you can't make much out of it. You can still make something.
Why not?
Huh?
Or why not?
Yeah. The boundaries of the intellect is only these things. Why not? Yes, no. Yesterday, tomorrow, past, future. So we can take all of this and everything in the middle and throw it in the river.
Then there's nothing to land. There's nowhere to land.
The land, sea, oh, land, fly, all.
Where does it go then? Where does it
What do you get upon landing? It's usually a hard landing. Huh?
where does it go? This person that needs to think.
Yeah.
Where does it go? Because each thought is being not true, being verified. If there's no landing ground,
Okay. Think of a hungry mongoose. Now forget about it. Where did the mongoose go?
it's still there.
This is the nature of the mongoose. Hey, hello, I'm still here. You see? So, so that which never came, where will it go? That which is just a bundle of thoughts. Where is its house? Ah, hands. I see. Okay. I see Nupur first.
Hello, Father.
Hello, my dear.
Father, there is this recognition of identity with the doer. the doership, and it seems to be a, I don't know, it just feels as if lifetimes of doership that
Yes.
keeps coming up, and finding it very sticky, Father. It's just that conditioned in a way of having brought up in this life also with the concept of becoming something and doing, and then it's so insidious, it just catches up like so subtly, Father. And I just wanted to, like, this full recognition that the trap happens, and there is a, and that there is a sudden flick of identity, and then the doership just becomes so heavy. And as you were saying today in satsang, that it's just about being, and and there is frustration, Father, which is seen around this also now. The why is the identity and the doership so sticky that it's
Good, my dear. Um, I'm just wondering. So the question is, what should we do about it?
yes, Father. Just want to, like,
You didn't get my joke.
yeah, I know. Because the doership is so heavy right now that the joke is also.
The doership is so heavy. What can we do?
Yeah, nothing, isn't it?
No, because that is either to do something or to not do anything is also doership. How do you know it is heavy?
There is sensation in the body that comes with the thought of not wanting it when that comes up.
How many kilograms is the sensation?
Not that heavy. Not that heavy. But
So,
yeah.
so if uh, heaviness or strongness, is it, too muchness, must need first a definition of how big or small you are. Is it? So if you have a boundary which is this much by this much, then if something comes this much, then we can say this is small for me or this is big for me. For the boundaryless, what is too much or too little? You see? So sometimes the mind plays this trick. Sorry, I'm just stretching my hand because I feel a bit of a pull, but it plays this trick where it can feel like we still have something to do, something is left to be done because my notion of doership is not yet gone.
Yes, Father.
You see? But we don't realize or recognize that that doership itself is getting amplified in this notion of doership, in this notion of what do I do. Give me a few minutes, my dear. I'll just be back. I'm just going to turn the video off and stretch my arm a
Yes,
bit.
Father.
Caught, caught in that. All right. Sorry about that, my love. I'm back. So what we were exploring is this nature of this affliction, which you feel like is so real. Are you certain about that?
Only when no.
It's very doubtable. At least we can say that, no?
Yes, very doubtable.
And primarily because the one who is afflicted by it, what can we say about that one?
Unreal.
And
Doesn't exist.
so quick, I love it. Now then, what is if the sufferer is unreal? Whose problem are we solving? But
It's just this a memory of a of an identity, Father, that comes up every now and then, and it's a memory because as the moment you put the light of awareness on it, it's like a ghost, it's like a shadow, it's a shadow self.
what is a memory? Something which has a claim as if it represents the past, but actually only happens in the future.
Yes.
Have you looked at it? All
Yes.
past is only in the future. You see? So this is the nature of the human condition, where actually the device that we have to make claims about what is and what is true is not up to the task at all. You see, the device being the mind, the intellect, is able to say, ah, this is like this is actually how this works, this is how this happens. Once we start really looking at it, you notice that it's just garbage. We can't say anything. All past is only in the future. You see?
Yes, Father.
So, so can we say fundamentally, if I was to propose to you that to suffer, you have to know something, and that knowing could be spiritual knowledge as well. What would you say about that?
It's a concept that you suffer.
Yes,
That-
and you suffer with that concept, and that type of concept could be world, what we call worldly or spiritual.
yeah, didn't think of it like that. Yeah.
Like spiritual seekers are suffering from trying to get rid of the notion of doership, as much as people in the world may be suffering from guilt and pride, maybe more. So last time, what I was
Almost feel like saying guilty of that, but that's again a joke. Yeah.
so so our spiritual stethoscope, what I was talking about last time, you see, is preloaded with all of these concepts, and then these tiny things, you see, they come and they go in the play of existence, and the nature of the mind is to grasp onto that and say, see, that is still there. You are not free enough, you see. But this you is nobody, and that space in which all appearances come and go is never bound by any appearance. And that which is aware of that space of existence, there's no question of bondage or freedom for that one. Because the entirety of existence is just the manifest aspect of its own self.
So crystal clear with your guidance, Father. It's so crystal clear. It's just that there's an eclipse that comes once in a while, and I can
Yes,
see
yes.
that also now.
Now,
Yeah, that
now,
eclipse.
one strange request I will make to you. It may sound strange. Only if you have clarity will it be eclipsed. So even your clarity you leave here.
Yeah.
No legs to stand on, no branch to hang from. You see? Otherwise, what will happen is you will limit this insight into a notional clarity, and tomorrow, when the other notion comes, it will seem to attack that notion of clarity, and then you say, I got eclipsed again. You see? So don't make anything into
Yeah.
anything. Otherwise, it can feel like there's another treasure of clarity that I have to guard. You see?
Mm.
And then the mind comes with this, and it is so strong. You see? See, I got caught. I was glad. I was so clear when I was talking to Ananta, and look now again. If you had no label to capture this experience, then could it be attacked?
Not at all. Not at all. Thank you, Father. Thank you so much. Just wanted to expose this sense of it's not heavy anymore. Thank you, Father.
Very good. Very good. Still waiting for you to come, like he said. Okay. Then I see Loni, but I remember her as Vijaya. Okay. It's been a long time. Can't hear you, my dear. Are you saying something? Okay, we don't hear or see you, my dear. So we'll come back to you in a moment. You want to try now? Mm, we still don't hear. Okay, we'll try in a few moments. Okay, I see Liang.
Hi, Father, Namaste.
Hello. Yeah, namaste.
So it felt auspicious and good to come today in front of you.
Yeah.
Um, this last day, somehow it feels like something opens and then closes or resists a little bit to this recognition, but at the same time, it's very clear that this is not the truth, no? And yes, just wanted to expose and lay this at your feet. And if you feel any guidance to give here and to come into this heart that it's beyond any movement, it will be very beautiful.
Thank you, my dear. So I feel very good. I feel very good about what you're saying. But just to help everyone, um, what is open without any notion?
Yes, this awareness.
What is awareness without any notion?
Yes, yes, just this.
This without any notion. Yes, it's good. We are just communicating, so we have to use some word. But you get the idea, isn't it? That and if we make an idea of open to the truth or close to the truth, and anytime we are open to what we think is happening is openness to the truth, it can be attacked by the mind with the idea of close to the truth. You see, just like I was telling Nupur earlier, that if we if we get an idea that I came to satsang, and in speaking to Ananta, there was such clarity. You see, that is already like a flag saying, "Come hit me." We don't see it because we feel like, okay, this I got this. You see? But that's just an open invitation to the mind which comes and says, clarity, I'll give you cloudiness, blurriness. You see? So anything that we can define will be attacked. You see? So many times we get into this kind of play of the opposite. I'm so open when I'm in satsang, but when I go to the marketplace of the world, I become closed again. Really? Do we actually know any of this? At best, they're kind of pointers. But who are they talking about? You see? So, so don't judge yourself on these parameters. In fact, don't judge yourself. You see, don't judge any state. Don't judge yourself. Just open and empty. You see, that okay, good point. So the open that I'm talking about is not something that can come and go. You see? Open beyond the notion of open. Like the minute you try to be open and empty, you're still in a position. You're sitting like this. I'm just representing to make the point. No, somebody says, "What are you doing?" Oh, Ananta said, "Be open and empty." Is it? Is it? If open is like a state, then we have to be more open than that. To be open is not to be open. You have to edit today's Satsang. Who's with me? If you're being open, then you're no longer being open. Is it like Guruji jokes? No, he talks about be natural. If you're being natural or you're trying to be natural, you can't be natural. You see, that's why I talk about the power of now. No? Like everyone knows, in the now, there is no problem. You see, all of us have read this beautiful pointing that right now, there is no problem. So to be free from suffering, just be in the now. Finish. You see, what's the problem? The attempt to be in the now is not in the now. You see? So it can become another mental expedition. All I have to do is be in the now. I'm just being in the now. Oh, yesterday I was being in the now so badly. Today I'm being in the now quite nicely. You see? So, so then all the actual being in the nowness is gone. So it's not a state or an absence of a state.
Father,
Yeah.
it feels here like some attachment like to the perfume of, of the self, like when somehow or to the experience, like somehow when the experience changes, then something like uses that to bring again this notion of a person that can come or go out from this, no? Or like an attachment to the openness or the peace that comes with awareness.
Yeah. Yeah, and that's it. If you notice it, that's it.
Mhm.
You see? Because if you make a position with regards to it, which is that I am afflicted with this attachment, you see, then there's no solution to that attachment. You see? So some things will just naturally come into your attention, you see, into your focus, and they'll be spotted, and that's it. The mistake we make is that we think that, oh, but really I have this problem which is still left. Now, what do I do about it? How do I fix it? And what tool will you send to remove this attachment? Is it? Nothing. You don't have anything like that. So just your noticing is enough. Just your noticing enough. But now that you noticed it and now you exposed it, forget about it. You see, otherwise uh, you'll just become like that pretend patient. No? Like I have this condition. What is the condition? I'm attached to my condition. I know, my jokes are mostly funny to me, but this is the bane of the spiritual seeker. I am now attached to everything that is supposed to rid me of my attachments, is how you define a spiritual seeker. We had this conversation. But if I don't even do this stuff now, then what am I going to do? Isn't this supposed to free me from all attachment? I'm saying, yes, let go. But if I let go, then who is left? You're doing well, my dear. You're doing well. All is good. All is good. Okay, I see Atma Jyoti. Well, I don't actually see her.
No. I'm here. Sorry. It just got me by surprise.
Yeah, that's okay. Winter is coming.
Going. Going, actually. Finally. It was very cold, so. You see, not crying. Thumbs up.
Good.
Not crying. Yet. I don't know, it's just like I had the feeling like to somehow to show my face. I don't know.
And I can't really see the face so well, but
Again, no. Maybe let me change.
Yes, reverse.
Now.
Yes, better. But yeah, angle is.
Now the angle. Oh my God. Okay. Still not crying. That's something.
Very good.
Yeah, and everything I'm hearing today is somehow like water for the one who's dying from thirst.
At least one in the audience.
I believe that.
And they were like, I've had absurd satsang in the past, but this may be the most absurd.
Well, I was thinking to myself that maybe I'm going crazy, but oh well. I'd rather be crazy but free. But
Guruji said, no, you have to be crazy to be free. Very good. So any notion you want to discard as you come up today?
It's a tricky question. No, like I would like to say that maybe there's this kind of like but then it's going back. I don't know. It's you know.
It's fine. If there's nothing, it's fine. You don't have to work at it.
No, it's something. It's like I guess for everyone, this narrative of my story.
Yes.
Which is like, is it really mine? Who is there to have it? And all those questions, and somehow it gets answered in the heart time and time again. But time and time again, something like very strong comes. God knows where is it coming from? Am I creating it? And just like all this kind of.
So what about the notion of time itself?
No, there's no time. It's only in my head.
Yeah, exactly. So when you say time and time again, we can just give up on the idea of time.
True. Yes. True. So true. And yes, and there's so much today, somehow of gratitude. I'm so grateful for even those like doom and gloom days, you know.
Yeah.
It's like I don't know. I know that maybe my mind's plan. It's not like doesn't like what is happening, but in somehow the trust in God and its plan is just greater, way greater. So, and even so, like it feels like even to say that I'm grateful is such a like maybe a nice feeling to have, but as well as kind of seems quite like an egoic as well. Like I don't know, even such a beautiful feeling as gratitude is still like you know feels like I need to leave it.
So, okay, this is beautiful. So this is a very good point now. Yeah? So even the idea of gratitude, is it egoic? Do I have to leave it? Am I being personal when I say that? You see? Now now if the gratitude is dependent on the your idea that you are grateful, you see, then it can be left. You see? And that which can be left should be left. But that which remains, you see, just naturally, that is the only thing which is of any value. You see? So if then we are just referring to, for the sake of communication, that which remains when everything that can be left is left, you see, and calling that gratitude, then that is beautiful. So this is the key. Nothing useful is left when you leave everything. And for that which remains, when everything has been left, if you need to use some terms, some words to communicate that, you see, then we can use the word. There's no trouble with that.
So there's something else I
Yes,
want to
yes.
say, but I'm not really sure yet. Sorry for the.
No, it's okay. Take your time.
No, maybe I won't pick up anything. Don't know. I really don't know what's happening. So maybe it's a good thing. Maybe it's a bad thing. I don't know. it feels like the mind is all over the place. Like
Yeah. Isn't that fun?
um
Let's change all the paradigms.
is it fun?
The mind is all over the place. It's running around like a crazy monkey. Is that bad news? No, it's fun. It's okay.
But
Only if,
then
uh,
so sorry. No, this is good. You reminded me like let's say if there is like a bad feeling,
yeah,
which is like what you would it as I understand it's not necessary that it's just something, maybe
yeah,
not even something, right? And like I maybe mentioned before that I find sometimes a feeling of enjoying not the state itself, but like I don't know. And then I'm like, what is this? Am
yeah,
I like where does this enjoyment?
yeah.
I don't know. This is very confusing. this thing. Like,
It's fine. I get it. So the good news I have for you is that you don't have to determine the nature of anything.
true. Oh my God. This is so. Oh shit. Sorry.
It's okay.
Oh. Okay. Oh. Okay.
I just want to talk to her today. She's just like my pointers are just going there, exploding on landing, which is so nice.
For a change.
No, no.
No, because I feel like usually it's so somehow um like I always keep you at an arm's length somehow. I don't know. Just
You're determining the nature of that, is it? How you keep me?
no. Oh no. Okay. Okay. Okay.
In fact, the theme of today's satsang has been this, no? The whole mind's attempt to determine what something is. What does this mean? What is this? You see, and it is not equipped for that kind of question. It is not equipped for any of this question concerning reality. You see, so all it offers you is propositions, which are very limiting propositions, and then as those propositions are taken to be true, then it can feel like that consciousness which took them to be true itself can feel like it is limiting itself. You see? So that is the whole game of the mind. You can possibly put on that. Good. So, what is the quickest way to be open and empty? This, of course, but slower than this. Don't determine the nature of anything. What is that? You see, and sometimes what happens is that these very simple words like big and small, strong and weak, you see, these very basic primitive words, they can actually seem to play a part in the role of this sort of limiting expression, you see, limiting consciousness. Mhm. And because they're so primitive, we leave them uninvestigated or uninquired. Mhm. So even our simple determination that something is very big or strong, or it's not so strong, it's quite open, you see, or it's closed or weak. We talked about with all the questioners today. We're looking at various ways in which we are able to determine what is, but none of those are truly determined. It's just uninquired, uninquired because these seem to be quite straightforward. Like, Father, there's a big resistance today, no? Or there's so much openness. You see? Can we really determine this? Either of these? We're getting to very subtle layers of how we limit ourselves, even in these like spiritual vocabulary. So you have only one job left, which is to quit the job of determining the nature of anything. I seem to be very pleased with myself for saying that. I'm not getting, I'm not getting that reaction.
No, no, all good.
I'm just kidding.
All good.
Yes, that means you understood what I'm saying.
It's like, uh, if you say yes, he's going to say, "Do you really know that?" You cannot know, you see, what anything is. You cannot know conceptually what anything is, and to know what is. You see, you see, you cannot not know it. So, although you can never know it conceptually, you can never not know it in reality. It now only depends on what we take to be the valid representative. Okay, I need to get a translator today. This voice, something is taken over this voice today, which is only speaking like this. It's because I was reading Zen stuff last night. It's not my fault. Yeah,
That you are saying we cannot know conceptually, but when we don't know conceptually, we know
yeah,
what is to be known.
yeah.
And
Even actually,
to say
even
that,
when we know conceptually, we never, even that conceptual knowledge is built on the truth only. You see, like the base, the substratum, like I am going here. No? So going here, all that could be false. You see? But even to be able to make a claim of falsity, first there has to be a claim of truth, isn't it? So so you and your existence are the substratum for all lives. So what happens is the lies have to be chopped off till only the truth remains. Same thing or different? Same.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah, in a way, same thing
Yeah.
what you just said.
Yeah.
That then there's not really this need for knowing, even to state that we will know and we don't know.
Yes,
You
yes,
know
yes,
what I mean?
yes. It's only a medicine for those who are afflicted with the disease.
Because even that then becomes an expectation
Correct.
to even know intuitively is then to
Correct.
know conceptually.
Correct. Even the idea of intuitive knowing is a conceptual idea. Yes.
So there's no knowing then, really, like something
Well,
that
even that is conceptual. All the assertion and negation would also be in the realm of conceptual. Yes. That's why this one is.
Intuitive knowledge is conceptual.
Huh?
Intuitive knowledge is conceptual.
The idea of intuitive knowledge is conceptual.
Like but the experience, like the
Yeah.
truth of it.
Yes, yes, of course.
So and everything is
Yeah,
conceptual.
but the thing is, the minute you define it, it becomes conceptual. Defined by definition means to limit.
Yeah.
Like, what is the intuitive knowledge right now?
I exist.
You see, but even that is a definition. Like, the intuitive knowledge is not I exist, I exist, I exist, I exist. So we don't go down there and we catch this I exist. You see, you know what I mean?
Yeah.
Like, it is a translation of the discovery
That's why
for the means of communication,
that's
which
why
is
he
fun.
said that this can never be
Never be.
said in words.
Yes.
It can never be
Yes.
explained like
Yes.
this.
And never spoken the truth.
Yeah. Or when Guruji says, I've never said a word.
Yes, exactly. Exactly. Good, good, good. Very good. Thank you.
Thank you.
Okay. Sita was there. I don't see her now. You can come back when you're ready. Etienne and Niranjan. And Nupur, you put your hand back up, or is it from last time? I'll put it down. Okay, Etienne, you're.
Yes. Um, yeah, I wanted to try to speak, although I'm just fascinated by the fact that we just let go of everything. So it's a kind of a contradictory movement of trying to express something about the letting go of getting hold of things. Uh, I remember you told us recently uh, we were looking at the fact that grasping something,
Yeah.
grasp something is already some suffering, some constriction, and I stayed with that quite a lot, and I recognize it today in what we are looking at, and um, it's a vast opening, and so I try to find my way in what I've been just so yeah. I've already said quite a lot actually, because this contradiction of trying to grasp the fact that we let go
Yeah.
is actually saying much for me, because I'm just looking more deeply than before how much this appearing of I and I grasping and labeling or as you just said uh, uh, saying the nature of anything or any, you know, is just the whole process of, actually in itself is the whole process of our life, of the world and of the mind. And so I don't want to freeze this vision, and it can't be frozen. And but yet I need to share it loud, or to share it in order, even in order to freeze it less, because when I keep it by myself, I will try to remind it, you know, this all these same movements of the suffering Nisargadatta is describing, I mean, in his statement. So I just see how my whole experiencing is actually described in these words, and how much the so-called stuckness, which is another definition, is a label on myself and on my inability to grasp or to and grasp and let go, because whenever I grasp, I don't let go, and so on. So I'm suffering this experience just as it is said. It's so obvious, and I'm happy I can express it because, yeah. So it's just a flow. I don't have to hold it. So yeah, I just needed to yeah. And if you feel to say something to me to put more fire or to more flow or whatever, as you said before, it's correct, but don't know it. Yeah. So I'm so grateful for.
It's very good. I'm very happy with your contemplations, and very good. You're going very well. Very.
But I'm sorry, I'm struggling today because the clarity of the sound, the level of the sound is good, but the clarity is, I don't know what's happening. But anyway.
It goes well with the theme of Satsang today.
Yeah, quite. Don't label, don't get hold of it or something.
Don't hold on to any spiritual concepts. So
yeah,
you can't hear them well. There's nothing to hold on to.
Yeah, they are unclear anyway, and it's not true anyway. Yeah. So yeah, thank you so much, and let's flow.
But yes, no grasping at flowing. Okay, that's good.
Right.
Because I've heard it a few times now. Because then it can become another thing, and then what can happen is that we get stuck in flow, and without realizing that it's actually stuckness.
Right. Thank you.
Thank you. Thank you. Very good. Very good. Very good. Okay, Sita can come.
Hello.
Hello, my dear.
I cannot see you, Father. I want to see you. Yes, okay, now I can see you. I don't know, I just wanted to come up. because I'm a little bit tired, and I was just wondering, like, what is mind attack? I don't have any mind attack, like I was thinking, etc., but I had no mind attack. And yesterday it comes, and I saw that what it is, and I couldn't sleep at all. And actually, that's why I wanted to meet you, because I am still, yeah, I'm still like this. And
Okay, so let's
yes,
let's make a representation of this mind attack thing. No? So
okay.
actually, any proposal from the mind is like sniper firing. You know, sniper. One man with the rifle or one woman with the rifle firing is sniper. So any proposal, ah, whatever you see, whatever the proposal may be, is like that. Now, when it seems to happen with the area which we have nourished in the past with belief, you see, with a lot of belief or identification, and it comes like doom, 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 then it no longer feel like sniper firing. It can feel like an all-out attack. No? Like you're like this, you're guilty, you haven't done this well, you whatever, whatever, whatever. You see? So then it can feel like it's a mind attack. Now, what can often happen is that I used to call this Donkey Kong level two. No? Like in level or level three, one level there's only coconuts, one level there are only barrels, then level three there are both coconuts and barrels. So there's like some sensation, and the mind is saying, see how close you are, and how you're feeling, and all of this. So then it uses the perceptions which by themselves are very innocent, but it uses the mind can pick on these and say, this is what's happening to you. You see? So but the good news is that actually the mind can only speak one proposal at a time. You see?
Father, may you please another use for proposal? I don't know what is
Yes, just like
proposal
any
exactly.
idea,
Okay.
like any idea that it could be, yes, I need to do this tomorrow. Yeah, any.
It was around some past events. It's
Yes,
just
it
come
can
through
be from
this.
past or
Hmm.
future. No, so it can be any proposal which
Yeah. Okay.
seems to offer you a version of what is. You see, this is how it is, in the sense that it may use the term was, but it is giving you a version of reality, so-called reality, but it is completely doubtable. You see, so it can say, for example, that how you behaved with that man 5 days ago was not good. You see, or
Exactly.
some whatever idea may be. So it can propose that. Now, what is the problem with this proposal?
um,
The biggest problem is that you that is represented in that is which one?
hmm.
You that
Father,
is
it's like,
represented in that, the you that is represented in that is another set of perceptions that we call the body mind. It is not really you, isn't it? You see, so this is not Advaita excuses, you see, which it can be used like that. But I'm saying that even if it was you behaved very well with that person 5 days ago, even in that the representation of you see, is not true. It is not valid. You see, it is still taking yourself to be this limited entity. You see, so then what happens is once you buy that proposal to be true, then what happens is that you continue to take these proposals of yourself being a body mind to be true, and you judge yourself on the basis of these perceptions, which could be words coming out of your mouth, actions happening through your limbs, and saying, ah, this is good, this is bad, I'm doing well, I'm doing badly. You see, just
Father,
conversation.
actually,
Yeah, say it.
it went just so extreme that I started to not believe in my mind. You know, whatever it's saying, it's not true at all. And okay, like there is a starting point, and which can be okay, actually, yes, there is something, but it just went so extreme that it's like, you know, whatever you say, it's not true at all. And
Mm,
yeah,
very good. That's good.
I still headache is here all night.
Again, like sometimes it'll use sensations and perceptions to convince you of the story of your limitation. Yes. Huh? That's from your background or from somebody?
Yes, but
Acha, acha.
yeah.
It's okay. It's okay.
Um, also,
So
I
if
want to,
if you follow today's pointing, which is that you don't need to determine what anything is or the nature of anything at all, then how is that as a pointing for you?
may you repeat, Father?
Yes,
My
yes.
attention was elsewhere.
It's okay. So I said today's main pointing has been that you don't need to determine the nature of anything. You see,
Yeah,
the truth
it
of
was
anything.
just too easy for me, actually.
So, but you
I
determine
mean,
that. Don't determine that also, my dear. Don't determine that.
okay, maybe I couldn't understand you. Sorry.
So, what can happen is that just like we were talking about clarity earlier, then in the same way, then if you make it easy, then easy is another flag that can be attacked tomorrow with the notion of difficult, just as clarity can be attacked by the notion of blurriness or cloudiness. You see?
May I say obvious?
No, in the sense that no determination.
Okay, okay.
You see, that is the only way to not suffer. Because any determination we make today, even if it seems like a positive statement, it can be attacked and it will be attacked. Mhm. That is the true nature of what I mean by open and empty.
Father, may I add something?
Yeah.
Also, one day I experienced something which was very, very something. Yeah. Like one day I was outside and someone called me a stupid, you know? And
Stupid.
stupid, yeah.
Oh,
Someone
oh.
told me, some stranger told me stupid. And I was like, there was no feeling, but not certain feeling. I was like, what should I feel now? How should I interpret? Like all this thing was there, but I couldn't, like, there was no reaction, but I was, you know, like I have to give a reaction. I have to have a certain feeling about this. I have to have a certain interpretation about this. And this was what makes me confused, you know? Like,
Yeah.
and this one is also very similar to this, like some opinion, something I have to like cling on about something, like I need some clarity. It's just works like this. And actually I'm so happy that I had such an experience, because I could clearly see how mind just goes like this. And yeah, and I couldn't anything actually.
Yeah. Yes. So the best antidote to should, you see, the best antidote to should is.
Yeah.
You see, so what should have been, whatever is. You
Mm.
see? What should you have done? Whatever is. What could you have done? Whatever is. So in that way, like the Americans say, all this shoulda, coulda, woulda stuff goes away. Because it traps us in this like imaginary version of past and future. When we say I should have done this, then we just like trying to trying to replace what we think happened with another representation. I think Byron, Katie says, no? Don't argue. What is it? I always forget. I always, when I start saying it, I remember, but then I forget. Yeah? Don't argue with reality. It only wins 100% of the time. What? Something like that. I have made a hash of it. Sorry, Byron. Katie. So, so let's say that your only job is to not determine anything. No? How's that? So change from having to determine everything to not determining anything. And what is it simply? Like you have no job, basically. Let God run this world. You fire yourself. Then no possibility of attack or defense, no mind attack, no nothing.
Attack was about something mind cannot figure out, and it wants to figure out, and it cannot.
Yeah. 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 You see? What is worth figuring out, truth or lies?
None.
I like that answer. I don't mind that answer. But if you were to say the truth, you see, then you say that, but the mind is not the right tool for that. Good, good. Very good.
Father, may I say that I don't know, but it's like there is I just want to turn all my being to what is, and yeah.
Done.
It is, but it's like there was not this kind of thing was in me before, like attention was always outside, and it's like
At work, no, my first job was with a company called IBM, and what one of our trainers told us that if if a sale is closed, then don't open it again. So when what I'm saying. So like longing from my heart is and done. Then but it opens up again.
Okay. Okay.
Good. Thank you.
Father, I just want to say that's just just I love you so much.
Thank you. Thank you. Thank you. Good. Okay, Niranjan, um, Keisha, Madalena, and Georgina.
Namaste, Father.
Namaste, my dear. I have to go. Sorry, my dear. Just give me a moment.
Yeah.
Yeah, of course. There's some sanitizer if you want to use. It's okay. We wanted to be safe. Okay, Niranjan. Can you hear me, my dear?
Yeah, Father.
Yes.
Am I audible well to you?
Yes.
Yeah. How are you, Father?
I'm good.
Same here. I mean, what to say? You have said don't reopen the sale.
Yes.
It's closed. Maybe let's play some flip classroom. It's been quite a while.
What is that? Flip class. You sit on the ceiling.
Yeah, means no. Flip means you ask the question and I pretend to answer. That's it's reverse.
Maybe next time, my dear. I'm feeling a bit tired in the body today, so not so much energy.
Yeah, sure, Father. No problem.
And you used to enjoy that. I used to enjoy that very much. I'm happy to see you. We'll play the game next time.
It's up to you. No, the conversation is up to you. I mean.
Cha. Good. All my love, all my blessings.
Thank you, Father. Thank you so much.
Okay. So I see Keisha next.
Hello.
Hello.
I just wanted to connect with you face to face here.
Mhm.
And everything in the satsang has answered everything that I was questioning today. So we're definitely all one in the sangha, and
Very
every question and every answer is all of our question and all of our answers. So anything else is just an excuse to connect with you, really. And it's just more about the concepts that we use to remain conceptless.
Yeah, yeah.
And like remain open and empty is one that kind of appears for me most of the time.
Yes.
And knowing when to discard even those concepts, I guess, is like, is it good to use them if they come up organically, like when, or is it even better to just not to even discard those concepts that, does that make sense?
Yes, yes, my dear. So,
yeah.
Suppose you're using the notion, the concept of open and empty, remain open and empty as the pointer that reminds you to actually remain open and empty. No? So the question that I'm hearing is, so when do I know whether it is time to discard even this notion of open and empty and just actually just remain open and empty without even the notion of remaining open and empty? You see? So this happens very organically. You cannot. There is no decision there. There's no decision there. It just happens organically in your heart. As long as you find it helpful to be reminded this way, the pointer is available to you. And when it serves no further purpose. It doesn't help in the process anymore. It'll just be discarded very, very, very naturally. Not like a decision. Okay, now I'm that open that I don't need the pointer open and empty. You see? It won't seem like that. But that's a good thing, because that's a good point to emphasize, because sometimes I say that if complete emptiness seems too scary and you feel like you're just lost completely, then you can hold one stick, like one branch, but you can pick one. And it's important to emphasize that you don't need to determine when to leave that one. You see? Because that pointing itself will take care of itself.
Okay. Yes, that's clear. That's clear. And on behalf of the Sangha too, I'd like to just say that we, give you our blessings too, for whatever you're feeling and the discomfort in the body. I just want to.
I feel completely fine in the hand, no? But I do feel some the body not being as full of energy as it may be. So I'll get some good rest tonight. It should be fine.
Good.
But thank you for that.
Yes.
So thank
yes.
you.
I love you.
Love you too. Thank you. Thank you. Thank you. Okay, Madalena. Namaste. Namaste.
I want to bring into your light some doubt about who I am and my openness.
About who I am was the first one. Who I am.
Yes, who am I, or who? Sometimes
okay, so that is the important thing, no? So let's pause there and then we come to openness. So, what are you doubting about who you are? What are you doubting?
I'm doubting my clear seeing, the clarity of my seeing.
Okay. If it was clear, what would you have seen?
uh, I still
Okay.
nothing.
You want me to help you a bit? I can try. So, are you doubting that you are?
No.
Then what are you doubt? What you're doubting could be what you are.
Yes.
Yes. Now, this is the primary doubt. No, the primary doubt. We feel that all the sages could be telling us the truth, that I am the self that does not come and go. You see, but the mind is designed to doubt that by representing ourselves to be this collection of perceptions called the body mind. Yes. Is there
Correct.
something to the nature of the doubt?
I think the nature of the doubt is more like a thought, which I probably never inquired properly.
Mm.
Um, but whenever you or any of my sisters said you see openness, a thought came and said, "Oh, am I open?" And I'm going to say probably the most stupid things I think I ever said, but even when Guruji said to remain with my discovery, I think in my mind put up a thought that, what's my discovery?
Yes, yes.
And I'd rather trust you and Guruji instead of my mind. And I don't want this doubt to flourish in my mind. So I thought I better bring it up.
So this is good, good, good determination to make provisionally, which is that I would rather trust what the masters are pointing me to rather than what my mind is saying. But to go to the mind to find out the reality about myself or to even confirm, oh, master said this, is this true? You see? So it's like saying that I give you a wet wipe like this, and I say to you, use this wet wipe to bathe the elephant. When you do it, you say, no, it's too small. What do you mean use this wet? It's too small. In the same way, your mind is too small to determine the nature of your reality.
I know. I heard this before.
Yes.
And
And
also Guruji saying, don't give this to your mind.
yes. But you see, mind equals doubt.
Uh-huh.
You see? Now, without the mind, try and doubt. Doubt something without your mind.
There is nothing to be doubted without my mind.
No. Is there nothing or something without your mind? Where are you now? You don't have to determine the nature of anything.
Yeah, that's the point of today's satsang.
Apparently, I don't know what the nature of today's satsang, but no, I'm kidding with you. Don't worry.
There was a thought in my mind that it's funny how.
What if you were not enamored by the thought in your mind?
Yeah, that's a good point.
See, because sometimes it can happen, there can come a phase where we start to recognize that the mind is not offering us any truth, or any reality is not coming from the mind, or as I like to say, we are looking for tomatoes, then we don't need to go digging under the ground. You see, so we realize that the mind is not going to offer, but maybe the last sort of strand of hope that maybe one day it will come up with a tomato, you see, is there. So we say, now this is what it's saying. Now this is what it's saying. Now this is what it's saying. You see?
It's not even offering me the truth, it's just offering one of the attachments and it's picking on that. And
Is this true?
I don't know, I don't have to determine the nature, so I can drop it.
Yeah. Forget about it. Yeah.
Thank you.
Thank you. Thank you. The truth cannot be determined in time, and the mind needs time. Before the sound is a click. It's clear, no? It is clear. Very good, very good. Thank you, thank you, thank you. Okay, last one. Georgina can come.
Hello, Father.
Hello, hello.
There's quite a bit of fear to come in front of you today. Can you hear me okay?
Yes, yes.
Yeah.
What mischief have you been up to? That this.
Sorry? I couldn't
What
hear
mischief,
that.
what naughtiness or mischief have you been up to that you're scared today?
Right?
I'm just messing with you.
It's a good question. Yeah. Thank you for that laugh. Yeah. I guess the sniper has been quite busy here lately. The so-called Xia from every which way. Yeah, and I noticed yesterday that there's a pressure to overcome it right away as soon as it comes.
From? The
Yeah,
pressure comes from where?
there's a identity with the one fighting this mind.
You see,
Yeah,
it is just the next bullet of the sniper itself. It fires the warning shot. You
yeah,
see, and you feel like that is the thing, and the next bullet is this warning shot should not come. It should go away.
yeah.
It's the main bullet. It's like the 1-2 punch, no? 1-2 punch combination, where the first punch is just the setup, and the uppercut is coming after that. But it's from the same sniper guy.
Yes.
So the idea that this should go away is also too much of a determination of the nature of something.
Then can I just play devil's advocate for a second?
Yeah,
But then
yeah, we can use another term, but okay, yeah, fine.
then comes the sorry, there's a little bit of noise, so I just forgot what you just said. But I think what I was about to say was that then there's the yeah. I suppose the idea is reinforced that something should overcome this.
Yeah. Now, if you didn't know about overcome,
yeah,
then nothing.
Yeah. Yeah.
It can sound too simplistic to the mind. Or what? Forget about it. If you didn't know overcome, you don't have to overcome it. Only once you know overcome, then you feel like that's what I have to do with it. I have to overcome it. It's insane stuff. Either I'm crazy or it's truly absurd. It could be both.
Something wants to ask for a tool to should I just let it play or what when it comes something like this is coming.
Option 1, let it play. Option 2,
give it to you.
That same thing. 3,
inquire. That is too much.
Actually, you can let it play
only
if you trust that it cannot hurt you. You see, which means to surrender it to me. You see, we cannot allow anything to just play if we feel like, but this can actually hurt me. You see, so surrendering it to the divinity or to the master's grace only means that I am not hurt by this because my master is taking care of it, and only then can we really let it go. So the fear has to be divested from that. You see, otherwise it can just become a lip service, like I'm trying to let it go. You see, but if you're still like, oh, but is it hurting me? You see? So whether with our surrender or with our inquiry, we see that what is appearing cannot actually touch me or scratch me or dent me in any way, then we can let it go. It's like if you go to a forest and there are snakes in the forest. No? So then you're just watching every step. Say, is there a snake? Is there a snake? Then if somebody comes and tells you, don't worry about it. You say, what do you mean? There's the snakes, I have to worry about it. Then someone says, but in the whole continent, there are no poisonous snakes. You see, then the fear is gone from it. No? Then you let it go. In the same way, when we surrender it, They're saying that it's my father's business to take care of it, and he's doing his job well, and the fear of that is gone. Or when you inquire into yourself and see that there is truly your reality cannot be heard because it is beyond all phenomena, then what is there to fear? So who uh, wants freedom?
Yes, she doesn't exist.
How much shall we serve her?
How much what? Sorry?
Shall we serve her or be in
Shall we?
service to her? And if we are not in service to her, what are we going to do with our time? And there's so much, much time with nothing to do, but so many movies to catch up. No, I'm not advising. Atma Jyoti can tell you which shows to watch. She's very good with her TV. But I'm not saying this, okay? I get in trouble to say this. And that is what freedom looks like. Whether the intention of our identity is material or it is spiritual, it is still a tyranny. It is still an oppression.
Yeah. Yeah. Thank you.
Thank you, my dear. Very good. Very good. Atmajyoti, your hand is up now again, or is it from last time? Let's see.
Again, if it's okay.
Of course. Oh, the lights went out? There you
Again,
go.
okay. No, it's, I don't know what is happening, but
Good. That is the whole point of satsang today. If you
but
don't know what is happening, then you really know what is happening. If you do know what is happening, then you don't know what is happening.
But I have to ask a very stupid
If you're
question.
transcribing this, please transcribe with the hand movements.
Okay. Very, very stupid question.
It's okay.
Is it okay not to know what a person, what a mind, what I am?
Yes.
Is it okay not to know?
It is not just okay, it is very important to not know. In fact, it is just a recognition that I have never known. It is only an admitting that I have never known.
Here we go, tears. Oh.
Oh. Tears? What's that? Tears?
Tears.
What does it mean?
And I was so proud of myself. No tears today.
What is the meaning of tears? What does it mean? What is the nature of those tears?
So it's okay not to know anything, even this.
Yeah. But it is also important to not know whether it's okay or not okay. I have to stop.
Please don't. Okay, I won't keep you. Thank you, Father. Again, sorry.
Oh, no, 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 it's good. I'm enjoying this. So this, you see what I was implying, no? In the sense that then it's okay to not know can become a fresh position. You see, now don't even know whether you know or don't know. This is what deconstruction looks like. No? But you don't have to know that. I'm just saying some nonsense thing. So much for the no tears business, huh?
Yeah, thanks a lot.
You know, it's only in Advaita Satsang that if you say thanks for nothing, it will be taken as a compliment.
But thank you.
Oh,
I'm
so
sorry.
oh, very good. That's very good. Very good, very good. Okay, my love. So it's okay if we just end the broadcast today without bhajans. I feel to rest the body a bit. Yes. Thank you. I'm just going to take a look at all of you once. Thank you. Thank you all so much for being in Satsang today. Sadguru Shri Muji Baba ki Guru Kripa Kevalam.